Hi, everybody. I hope everything is okay. I am Philippe, and I'm a huge fan of Barbra Streisand. And I am making a series of videos, short videos, um, which will discuss what I consider the essential Barbra Streisand albums, the ones that you have to listen to, the ones that you cannot miss, the ones that perhaps you've listened to a long time ago and that perhaps I'll pique your curiosity and make you want to go back and listen to them. And for the people who like Barbra but do not know her very well, I recently saw people who were discovering Barbra and reacting to her singing Evergreen. And they were young people and they stopped the video and said, "Oh my God, I didn't know she was a singer." So, of course, when you're a fan, you think, "God, where were you?" But that's the youth, and it's fine. It's some people just don't know about her so much, and she's been around for so long, and she has such a huge career. But she's also been a discreet artist. So if you found out that she had a new album, you would go out and buy it. But then she wasn't much on television. She wasn't somebody who plugged her material a lot, and she didn't need to because she's a huge star. So today I want to discuss a live album which is called Barbra Streisand Live at the Forum, and I have learned how to put pictures on the screen. So well, hopefully I didn't forget. So it'll be on, and I'll have some images of this incredible album. First of all, the artwork was great. It's a beautiful drawing, and it was a single album, but that opened in two, and inside was a poster, full-size poster of this drawing, but it's all her hair, very, very, very long. It's just absolutely beautiful, and it's also very representative of who Barbra was at the time, which is a young, modern woman, and this was her style, straight, long, flowy hair. All the big hairdos from the 60s were gone, and she was going into a different mood and a different era, and she was very modern. So this concert was made as a benefit concert to elect the president, the future president of the United States, in the mid-70s, and it was for McGovern, but Nixon won, so I guess she wasn't too happy. This is 1972, so it was in hope for the elections of that time. And she headlined a huge concert. Carole King was in it. Other names, they're in the liner notes, but I forgot. And she was in front of a very young crowd that was also a crowd that wanted change. They wanted a young president. They wanted a lot of changes in America. So it sounds on this album, although she sings some of her big hits and some of her old songs, and she starts out with Sing, the song from the Carpenters, which she says is her son's favorite song from Sesame Street, and then right into that she goes into Starting Here, Starting Now, which is an amazing song. The original recording is on the album Color Me Barbra, which we'll discuss later on, and then she sings Don't Rain on My Parade from Funny Girl. To me, her best live version ever. It's just her voice is perfect, but it's more modern, and she just, she has a way of saying the lines which is completely different than in the movie, and it's just that she's sung it a lot live since. I mean, she sings it practically each time, I think, but this time it's one of the best times, and it just ends like boom. When the end of the song, your heart stops. And then she has a monologue, and it's very, very funny because in her monologue, she explains that she's a very nervous person and that she asked other artists what they did to cope with stage fright, whether it be drugs, and she doesn't take no pills, and then alcohol, and she doesn't drink. And then while she's talking, she says, the best way is just to relax. And the audience goes crazy. and if you don't read the lines, the notes, you don't know, but she actually lights a joint and she smokes a joint. And that's very, very explanatory of who Barbra was then. She was breaking with the superstar image, the big Corrida hairdos, the gowns, the beaded gowns, the flowing gowns. It's completely out. She wears a pantsuit in this concert, black velvet pantsuit, and she's just a modern woman. She sings "Where You Lead," which is Carole King, and that's really, you know, it's really rock, and she dances. She's accompanied with a gospel choir. So when she sings "Happy Days," the choir picks up, and it's just wow, just absolutely tremendous. And she can really keep up with these unbelievable voices, and she's just so strong and powerful. And she has another little monologue where she asks people to vote between two of her songs, Stony End, which was a big hit because she had done the album Stony End just before, and Secondhand Rose. And I'm sure she picked it on purpose. Stony End gets a huge applause, and so that's the one that she decides to sing, and instead of A Secondhand Rose. But of course, what she's doing is she's actually making the public vote, and that's what she's saying to them. You have to vote, you know. Well, and probably Stony End to her is McGovern, and Secondhand Rose is the other guy, I forgot, Nixon. And so that's really funny. She sings for the first time the song "Didn't We?" and she sings it magnificently. And then it just came out, the original recording came out much later on her Release Me recordings, which are collections of songs that were never released and that she released now. And they're beautiful albums and compilations. There are 2 so far. So they're really great to listen to. And she ends with "Happy Days Are Here Again" and "People," which are, again, are some of her biggest hits. And but she sings them completely different. This is a modern young woman. This is a you know, for the time, the word was hip, and that's what she was. And she's a very free woman, liberated, and she's really a woman of her time, even though she's a superstar and she's already had this pretty incredible career. I mean, she already has an Oscar, and she's won Tony Awards, and she's been on Broadway and on television, and she's, you know, an international superstar. But now that's it, you know, she breaks and goes to something else. And that's what's so incredible with Barbra's career, is that it's constantly renewed, but always true to herself and true to what she is. So to me, one of the greatest live Barbra Streisand albums, and one of the greatest Barbra Streisand albums, because it's her. There's no, I mean, she doesn't do anything to her voice when she's recording in the studio, because I mean, when you have a voice like that, what do you want to do? But here it's just one take, and I just love that. Even though there's not a single mistake, there's not a single thing that goes wrong, she's just so perfect. And it's just such an amazing album to listen to. And so I hope you enjoy it. Oh yeah, and she sings "My Man," of course, but like never before. And she gets a 3-minute applause from the audience, who just goes crazy, and it really brings tears to your eyes, because you could just imagine what it must have been to be there and to hear Barbra Streisand sing "My Man," or anything, whatever. And so it's just an amazing showstopper in this album. So I hope you enjoy it. Try and listen to it. Tell me what you think, and I'll be back very soon with a new album. Bye.